So to spin this, I would say if you were to give some insight, and I'm putting you on the spot here, but to a company starting out, or maybe it's a company that's been running for a while, and they're like, we want to get generous,
Yeah.
and I feel like we've touched it a little bit, but like, what are some things you would say, like, how do we start?
Yeah. I think so. If I'm sitting across from a CEO of any size organization and they're saying we want to start, I don't know where to start. I think I'd ask a series of questions, and I think I'd start with tell me where you currently feel the most fear and the most stingy, right? So if that's towards your employees, if that's your view towards your employees, you tend to be a little bit stingy. You have some fear. You feel like for them, this is just a job. They don't really want to be here. They're not really on board. I'd say start by being generous with them. If your fear is your customer base, then and you feel stingy towards them, then I'd say start there with your generosity. Find a way to be generous to your customers. If it's your community and you feel like you're at odds with the politics and the codes and something in the community is holding you back, and that's where you feel fear and you feel a little bit of angst and you want to be stingy towards them, push back with generosity. Go towards the fear. Let that kind of be a compass for you because it's probably an indicator. There's something going on there culturally with your employees or with your customers or with your community. And I'd start wherever that angst tension is the greatest because nothing melts down differences quicker than generosity. When you're generous to somebody else, genuinely generous from the bottom of your heart, man, in that moment, what happens is you're not building a case any longer. You're building a bridge, and once that bridge is built, all kinds of things can open up. So I think that's where I'd say. And then the second thing I'd say is just get started. Don't overthink it. You mentioned that earlier. Don't overthink the strategy. I think some people get so lost on, well, what if we support this organization and, what if they do something bad or what if they come out politically, for or against something that we're not for or against or what it's, we overthink this thing to death. We can over strategize generosity. Just pick a place, my preference for them would always be if there's a personal connection. You had a personal connection. You'd experienced that through your kids and you saw the power and the impact and it meant a lot to you personally. So that was an easy and the right next step for you guys. Support that. So, I don't think you have to overthink this and overthink the strategy. That'll come over time, right? Just get started and do something generous in one of those three areas. And I would pick the one that there's the most tension with inside of your company right now.
And that's a remarkable way to look at it, to say start there. If like with the employee, most people are thinking like outside, external, but you could be generous right there. And that's a
Absolutely.
fantastic way to start because generosity breeds generosity. So the moment
Yeah.
you breathe that into your employees, it's going to expand beyond them and beyond and beyond and beyond. And it's a powerful thing, man. That's a great perspective. So I appreciate
Well,
that.
it's like how can we expect them to be generous if we're not being generous towards them, right? It's like everything rises and falls on leadership. There's a reason that your team gets excited about generosity and excited about serving. They've seen it modeled, and they know it's important to you guys, so it's important to them. um, but expecting them somehow to just organize themselves and go out like it could happen, but it's not likely. And
Right.
so I think we have to model that which we want to see and reward it when we see it because what gets rewarded gets repeated. And before long, it just becomes a cultural thing. It's just become a part of you guys' DNA. Like the only decisions you guys probably are making these days about generosity is where is it going to go? And
Yeah.
how much can we give? You're
That's
no
right.
longer debating whether or not you're going to do it,
Yeah.
whether it's important. You're past that. That was stage one. Now it's just an overflow.
Yep. Oh, that's it, man. That's incredible. So how about you, man? Like, yeah, you talk about seeing me and me moving around, but you're a mover and shaker too. What all you got going on? If I'm gonna turn you around and I'm gonna let you be selfish
Yeah,
for a minute. Like, what all you got cooking?
man. I got a lot going on these days, and I'm loving every bit of it. We're in a great season of life. I've got my life's a little different than many. I've got three older boys, so I have a 22-year-old, a 20-year-old, and an 18-year-old, and then I have a 2.5-year-old. So man, it's like I'm getting to be a dad all over again, which is awesome. But I did spend a lot of time thinking and praying and strategizing about whether or not I could do this again. But I sat down one day and I started to make a pros and cons list, and I stopped about halfway through. And I was like, you know what? The By far the best thing I've done with my life is be a dad. By far, like that, nothing that I've ever done or experienced even compares with it. I was like, if God gives me the opportunity to be a dad again, why would I not jump at that? And so I did, and just really grateful. So yeah, we've got four kids running around. Not three of them are almost completely out of the house. I still got one that's here that's not in college yet. But so busy with kids, busy with the exec coaching and then the speaking. And we're hopefully, building a barn dough here real soon with you guys. And just grateful, man. I really am. Life's, if you asked me 10 years ago if this is what my life would look like, I would have said, nope, absolutely not.
Right.
But it is. And I've just continued to see God's grace, man, in my life. And I'm grateful for the opportunities and grateful for conversations like this and meeting new friends and partnering together on things. It's just life's an adventure. And I'm just grateful to be on the journey.
Yeah, man. I would say I can feel you on the span because I have a 23-year-old and a 2-year-old and everything in between. I got a whole squad. And sometimes I wonder if I'm making a soft new kid or if I was too hard on the old kid. So it's I tell my wife all the time, she's like, this got easier. I'm like, I think we just got more experienced. And so it's like anything, man. But I would agree, man. Being a dad is the center point of everything. Yeah. And I try my best not to lose sight of it, because there was a day and age, man, where they were not my focus. I was too busy worried about creating the money and the things to really spend time with them and just be present. And now I'm in a position where that it gets to take priority in my life, and it's awesome. But man, I love meeting you and hanging out with you, and just you're always uplifting, even if it's just social media posts. I mean, you're just you have that energy about you, man, where you just bring out the best of people. So I appreciate you taking some time to jump on here with me and spend some minutes talking about this, because I know it's near and dear to your heart, and that's, again, I think we had common ground there. And, I just, for me, I want as many people to be successfully, as possible.
Yes.
And anything that I found to make it easier or more beneficial, and like not just have the money success or the business success, but also family success and the generosity component. I want to pass that along freely, because there was so many years where I would be winning in one area and completely losing in all the others. And now I'm trying to find balance amongst the pillars of my life, and keep everything in sync, because you'll never find perfect balance, but harmony, I guess, is a better word. Like, how do I do this harmoniously so that everything is benefiting and everything in the garden's growing, not just the roses, and then the roses die because I start taking care of the tomatoes, So it's like, but man, again, super thankful that you took some time to jump on here and speak about this, because again, I think this is the singular most powerful thing that anyone can do to grow and scale a business is to get behind something bigger than themselves. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to the Barn Dough Show podcast. If you're watching on YouTube or wherever you're listening to this content, hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And then be sure to check us out on all of our social media platforms at The Barn Dough Co. Super simple to find us. And then when you're ready to dive in a little more, maybe look around some of our available floor plan options, or take a look at the gallery of our work, or maybe you're ready to connect with our team and explore what it looks like to build your dream barn dominium, you can visit us online at thebarndoughco.com.